Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Show. 8 games to go through here on Friday. I've got 5 picks that I'm already making on the card. And I also got that live stream each and every weekday at 5:30 p.m. that everybody's been jumping into. Much appreciated. Subscribe to that page. Continue to follow along if you would. We had a really fun time yesterday on it. Really weird slate that we put together on the card there. 1 and 5 is what we went, yet still made money on the live stream. That's what happens when you hit your parlays correctly and get your unit measurement correct as well. Quick look at how we did yesterday. If you do want to look at it, 5 and 6 on the night there, plus 1.8 units. 3 and 4 on the Playa Props, still made 0.3 units because of the way that we portion those units. And then 1 and 1 on the sides, but the parlay there on Prize Picks. Hopefully you tagged along on that from the live stream because that was Kyrie getting really good value on his assists. Plus we got the bet for Franz Wagner that hit anyway. So this is how we did on the live stream yesterday. 1 and 5, yet made 0.1 units if you followed along with the unit measurements because of the way that we put the full unit on plus 210 on Prize Picks to go ahead and get that full unit back with Kyrie and Franz. Everything else was a slight miss. Zion went under by 3 in a blowout. Brandon Ingram left that game. CJ got over his by 1 point when he got 18, which is pretty annoying. And FEV did not come. We should have just gone with the assist on that one. That was a learning experience. That right now he is the point guard of this team, and a lot of other dudes who are attacking the basket are a lot better play there. So on the season, after a 1.8 units up day, as you can see, 1.8 units, 5 and 6. Did go 4 and 1 in the show picks, which is this video style right here, where I'm just recording this and getting this out to you guys as soon as I can with the best plays that I have. So feeling really good about making 1.8 units despite going 5 and 6, right? Don't care about the record, care about the money. The money is at 33.5 units on the season now up, and 36.2 on those player props. A little bit more work to do to get to 40 units up on the player props before March ends. That's the goal, so we're going to get to it. Let me jump right into pick number 1 with Cade Cunningham, over 32.5 PRA there, and that's minus 120. Boston does seem like it's kind of taking the day off. We do know that Drew Holiday is already out. That was the best defender for Cade. We've got KP and questionable, Al Horford questionable. I only expect one of those 2 dudes to play, and then you got Jason Tatum questionable as well. He's often questionable. He'll probably play alongside Jaylen Brown, but this Pistons team has been frisky when it goes up against Boston. They've actually won 3 of 5 at Boston over the course of the last couple of seasons, which is a wild stat, but they do have this game in Detroit, and Cade at home has been awesome, and since the All-Star break. That's kind of the last 2 things I'm talking about here, but I did want to bring it up right now, which is that in his 4 career games versus Boston, outside of this one dud that he had last year, we're looking at 25.8 points per game, 7 boards. That gets you already over the 32.5 PRA that we would need. Then you add in the 6 assists per game that he's gotten against them, and honestly, he's been diming up a ton. I mean, since the All-Star break, 8.5 assists per game, 5.5 boards, and about 23 points per game. So he's getting about 3 to 4 PRA over in terms of this number at 32.5 that we have here for him against a really good Boston team, but everybody's out for Detroit. He's going to be doing not only the bulk of the work. I mean, he has a 40% usage rate without the dudes who we're going to be missing in this game right now, when he's been missing in his last few games. Simone Fontecchio, Isaiah Stewart's out for the season. Umude, who's been pretty good for them as well. Quentin Grimes and Osar is out for the season. Quentin Grimes out for the foreseeable future as well. Not sure if he'll come back in a Pistons uniform this season or not, but there's just a ton of dudes missing for them in a way that Cade's got to do pretty much everything. So I'm going to take him to basically just put up the only stats that we're going to see from Boston, or from Detroit against Boston. I would lean under in this game as well, but I do think the guy for Detroit in this one is going to be Cade. So I mean, it always is at this point, and I do think he's likely to put up those stats against a sleepy Boston team and get his in a pretty good matchup where he's bringing it against good teams. Second pick, Santi Aldama, over 21.5 points and rebounds. Dude just went clean off recently, as we saw. I believe his stat line last game against those Dubs was 27, 9 boards, 4 assists. Also had 2 blocks and a steal in that one. And he's currently leading the team in general, right? I believe Triple J might play in this game. Pretty much everybody else is out at this point for Memphis. So it's really going to be the Santi Aldama show, as he's one of the only dudes that you can rely on to be on this team next season. And it's a pretty good spot for him in a game against this Spurs team that has, I don't know if the points are necessarily going to go over this. It might be a little bit lower scoring, but you're not going to get anybody out there that can shoot, because we've already got Desmond Bane basically out. He's doubtful. And Luke Kennard is out. That's the dude who's been the playmaker, really the point guard for this team, basically since everybody went down for this Grizzlies squad, it's been a lot of Luke Kennard as the playmaker and ball handler. He's not in there. Santi's actually been the dude with more potential assists and as more passes made, more passes received. Like, he's the dude standing a little bit further away from the basket behind the 3-point line, doing the bulk of the work for this team. Triple J should play in this one, but as far as rebounds go, like, he's actually got more rebound chances than Triple J, who we've talked about is not a very good rebounder for somebody his size. And he's playing down there. When he gets the minutes, he's good to go, right? His per 36 is 16 points per game and 7 boards per game. But as well, when he's been playing San Antonio, he's gotten these minutes. He only played 32 minutes a game, averaging about 25 points and rebounds combined. Double-double is in the cards for him tonight. We'll see how much Wemby plays. Probably still going to get about 30 minutes. But if Santi Aldama is also going to be hitting some threes and pulling Victor away from the basket, that's going to be pretty helpful for him. As far as playing on defense, he's going to be down there getting defensive rebounds, where the Spurs give up a ton of those. Really bad offensive rebound percentage for the Spurs this season, even with Wemby. So you got to like Santi to get about 8 to 9 boards in this one. I easily put him about 15 points. So I would put him at about 15 and 10 or so as the ceiling or so, for him. But really, it's the rebounds that he should be getting 7 to 8, get us to that 22 points and rebounds combined, because I do think he's likely to get between 15 and 20 points is what I project him at in this one. And that should be good enough to get us over the 21.5 points and rebounds. Another points and rebounds bet. We got Trace Jackson Davis on the Dubs here, over 17.5. The Rook has been bringing it for sure over the last bunch of games. And really the key here is he going to get 25, 23 minutes? If he gets 23 to 25 minutes, he's good to go. He's gone over this number in every game this season that he's gotten 25 minutes. And he's in a really good spot to play tonight against the Pacers. Know it's going to be fast paced. Know it's going to be up and down. And if you look at the schedule that's coming for the Dubs, not quite a Draymond Green game, right? Like, they're actually going to be playing a couple of tough teams, including the Magic and the Heat coming up for the Dubs. They're going to need Draymond in those slobber knockers a lot more than they're going to need him in a game that's going to be up and down against the Pacers. This is where I think you can play a lot more TJD and Jonathan Kuminga. Either of those dudes are probably a good bet in this one, with the way that Indiana gives up so much to that position. Whether you want to call him a power forward or a center, everything's kind of interchangeable for the Dubs at this point. And they're attacking the glass with guys like TJD and Kuminga. Like I said, both, they do very similar stuff, but I think they're both good to get their minutes and points and rebounds tonight, especially the points for Kuminga, but definitely the PR for TJD, who has been really quality for them down low. He's the pick and roll dude. Like, more than anybody else on the squad, he's getting that pick and roll play as the big man, the roll man in that play. And that's something that Indiana is terrible against. It's why they're bad against power forwards and centers. It's why they're bad against anybody big, is if you're going to the basket and you're attacking inside of 5 feet, really anywhere inside the paint versus this Pacers team, you're probably going to be successful. And TJD is that dude right now for them, especially on the second unit when he runs that pick and roll with Chris Paul. But we've seen him get minutes in the fourth quarter and the end of the second quarter a lot lately, stealing some of those minutes from Kuminga, honestly, because of how well he's playing with the second unit. They just kind of keep him on there and let him keep going. So I think he's again a good bet to get the 25 minutes tonight. Once again, let's say 24 minutes is a good projection for him. And in that case, then we like him to pick up those stats the way that he has been. Kelly Olynyk, another fade. I got to do it with at least half a unit, under and 3 straight for this 27.5 PRA that we're talking about. And it is another situation against the Thunder where, while this isn't the best defensive team against centers, and Kelly O will be playing center, whatever you want to list him at, power forward or center, there's nobody down low. There's no 5 for this Toronto Raptors team anymore, who's going to be sitting everybody once again. And that actually hurts Kelly, in my estimation, because if you've seen him play with an actual point guard, he's been a lot better. He's gone under in 3 straight because he hasn't had anybody that can actually handle the ball and set up an offense. It's been a lot of Bruce Brown trying to run the offense. And as much as I am a fan of Bruce Brown, he needs a guy like Joker, for instance, maybe Tyrese Halliburton, the teams that he recently came from, to unlock him, not have him be the guy who's trying to set everything up and run point for this team. If you look at Kelly O in terms of the rebounding, the Thunder are not a good rebounding team. They give up rebounds to every position and overall in general to other teams. They're giving up a lot of rebounds per game, bottom 5-ish in the rebound category there, depending if you're looking at rebound percentage, rebound chances for the other team. They're bad. But if you're going to contest his rebounds at all, you're probably going to get it off him. He's at like a 17% contested rebound chance percentage right now for Kelly O. He's not getting rebounds off of those contested rebounds. He's not as big as dudes, not as athletic as Chet is. So I do think Chet's going to have some more success defending somebody like Kelly O versus a traditional center who's going to play a little bit more back to the basket, put Chet under the basket by just backing him down all the way because he doesn't have that strength yet anywhere on his upper or lower body, to be honest. But Kelly O is not that dude, right? So you're not, even if he gets pulled out, that's actually to Chet's advantage. He's a more versatile center who's better at guarding dudes who are versatile like he is. I would definitely put Kelly Olynyk there. He's at like 9 potential assists per game, so it's not like he can't get those dimes. I don't think the rebounds will be there for him. And the points at like 13, 14 and a half, I could definitely see this game going under, probably looking at like a 120, 100 kind of deal. Like I would go under on this Raptors team total as well, 107 and a half. Probably talk about that on the live stream at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Quick reminder to get back into that today. Philly and LA rounds things out for me. I'm taking an over in this game, 224 and a half, full unit on that. Look at what the Lakers rather have been doing at home lately. It's a little bit of an inverse of what they were doing before the All-Star break. Their last 10 at home, averaging 241 per game. And they've gone over in 9 of those last 10 with one dud. That was before the All-Star break, and against a much slower team. Other than that, we're talking about the Lake Show really driving things home on offense, much more so than defense in their own building. And in the last 10 in general, second best offensive rating for this Lakers squad, 5th worst defensive rating. So we've seen them play with a lot of pace, not a lot of defense, not a lot of defensive rebounding. Philly can attack the offensive boards if they want. And they've been really weakest, as they have been for most of the season, against above the break action, which is where Tyrese Maxey is going to be doing everything. I really wanted to look at an under for Tobias Harris in this game. We'll probably look at that with you guys once again on the live stream to see if there's anything there, because I don't love it. I'm going over on the points, so it felt a little bit contradictory to take under on Tobias, even though he has been dreadful, and this Philly team has been better on offense without him. We might see more of that as long as Kelly Oubre and the other Kelly Oubre and Tyrese Maxey are running the action here for the 76ers. That offense should be humming a lot more against the Lake Show tonight. So let me get out of here. That is all the time that I have for you guys. Appreciate everybody following along. Like it says, jump back in on that live stream here at 5:30. Bring your comments. Love to go over those bets with you guys. We put together a decent card yesterday. Still made money, even though we went 1 and 5 because that parlay hit for us, and we were portioning the units correctly. In the video for the last 3 nights, though, about 12 and 2 that we've gotten so far. So I would continue to follow along with these videos. Jump in those comments as soon as you see stuff. Love having you guys around. Until I see you next. Happy betting.